All right, good morning, guys. Those are the first words I've spoken this morning. It's a pretty interesting predicament. Yesterday was a follow through day, another one. So let's see how this journey works out. Should have been a pretty easy day to, I guess, manipulate an uptrend yesterday. Let's see how it goes today. All right, what do we got here? Abercrombie and Fitch up 22%. What? That's big. Up here. 21. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much right there. Lazy Boy up, Aquin up. That's good. Tilly's is down. That's funny. Look at that close on the Qs, man. How do I feel about NVIDIA? I like their video cards. That's how I feel about NVIDIA. I don't know. Actually, I kind of like NVIDIA down here from a price action perspective. There's no major pattern down here. But what's not good is the huge gap down on earnings, but there's been elevated volumes down here without major price progression downwards, which usually indicates some accumulation. It's a little bit of a gamble at this stage of the game. But yesterday was another follow-through day. If we truly do have a market in an uptrend, NVIDIA could rebound. Although Apple had a good day yesterday. Yeah, Apple looks pretty. Apple looks better. Not great, but better. See if it. Amazon there looks really good. Coming up to the 200-day, testing it. Let's see what happens today. Another nice green day, taking us up to the 200-day again, would be good. On the NASDAQ, that would probably take us through the 200 on Amazon, and a close above the 200 would be a good sign. Can't say it's going to prove to be the ultimate sign, but it would be a good sign. My list torches up 4%, WHD's up a little bit, quite a bit red. This is actually good for an open. Gives things an opportunity to rise. Gap down, go up is better than gap up and go down. So if we can turn these reds into greens, that would be much healthier. We've seen a lot of the opposite, a lot of open, big green opens, which gets people excited, and then things sell off towards the end of the day. That's a little bit of market manipulation. Yeah, Amazon did bounce pretty good. We were just looking at that one. Let's go take a look again. Pretty good bounce, little double bottom right there. Pretty textbook. I like it. Yeah, I like the price action on this one. Pretty good. Very similar to the Qs. Although the holidays are in there with Thanksgiving, giving us a low volume area, which maybe it's just the break we needed to abate the selling. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe all those institutional investors went back to their families and they're like, Hey, can you stop selling off the market? I'm sick of losing all of my money. Like, yeah, fine. And they go back and they buy again. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right, some more green popping up. We see Ulta up 2%. Ulta on the daily, we were looking at to break out. It looks like it pulled back and is bouncing today. Although a couple of higher volume sell days right there are interesting, those 3 days. It's an interesting combination of days. Doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Tea on the new throat is good. CHK up a little bit, although still on the lower part of the trend line. Much more green on my screen now. Are we flipping those reds? Yeah, the deep reds are still red. Fizz down 4%. Look at that, full retracement. It's an M pattern. That is not a healthy pattern. Huya, Funko, Wynn Resorts, GDS, NetEase. I don't mind NetEase down here. Look at this nice little consolidation over the trend line. Not bad. If we can break over that 243 level, we could be off to the races. This is a China name, so there's always a little bit of caution to be had there, but interesting little bottoming situation, a higher low, slightly higher high, little consolidation. If we can break higher again, that would be nice. Not sure if it will completely change the trend. There's not a lot of pocket pivots down there. I see one pocket pivot, which is better than no pocket pivots, but not too bad. I don't mind NetEase too much. GMed actually rolling over. That hurts. Hurts again with the channel breaking above it here. It's tried a couple of times. It's maintained here the past while. Eli, you were chatting with me the other day and you said AMRN. And it was like, yeah, right there a couple of days ago. What are you looking at? The breakdown at AMRN, or what was your thinking when you mentioned that? It looks like it's breaking down, unfortunately. It's a very extreme downtrend for YY. Roku. Square still in the downside. It just jumped somewhere. There it is. Square. Screw you, Square. I'm just going to type it in. Square's little bottoming formation. We failed that. This kind of looks like a rising little frozen rope trend line right now. Possibly a rising wedge. We'll see how that works out. Declining volume there. Not my favorite, but we'll see. Yeah, nothing really screaming out at me today. What's our one we liked yesterday? INS. Look at this baby. Lots of green. Lots of green pops. All over the place. Still don't know what they do. I mean, we know what they do, but, you know. How about Facebook, Justin? Oh, you're trying to burst my bubble? Is that what you're doing, Eli? It's cool. That's your job, buddy, bursting my bubble. Yeah, what about Facebook? More importantly, what about Twitter, I think? But we'll take a look at Facebook. So Facebook's been in a fairly extreme sell-off. There's a nice trend line right there. This is what's keeping it down. Keeping the man down right here. That would be your trend line. I'm omitting that wick so I can touch here, here, and here, and here, and there. So that's good. But yeah, it's still underneath pretty much every key moving average. You have a death cross right there. And thank you, Eli. You know what? I feel like I have two wives. I call my wife my dream killer. Now I have two wives. I'm not super enthused with Facebook down here. If you want to pick it, I guess that's something you can do. It is down quite significantly. I mean, 218 down to 135. Seems like a pretty extreme downtrend right there. About a 37% downtrend. Yeah, it's a little early to kind of buy that. Haven't looked at Twitter in a while. Twitter was kind of putting in a weird cup with handle. Almost looks now kind of like an inverted head and shoulders with that low right there. So you would have an early buy point based off of this trend line. Possibly that would be an early buy point. And then you would have a traditional buy point, which would be up here at the neckline. And then if we were to extrapolate this out, using our wonderful chart pattern knowledge, our mask clicking knowledge isn't that good today, but chart pattern knowledge would be good. Takes you up to about 45, little past 45. Okay, 46. So right up to those all-time highs, takes you to about 46. Eli, I wish we would go back to those days too. Thanks for mentioning that. So, if the market stays healthy and stuff happens, could have a nice uptrend in Twitter. That's not a bad little inverted head and shoulders. Volume signature. Not exactly correct. But either way, it could be good for a trade out off of this trend line. Speaking of social media, we can take a look at Snap as well and the garbage that has become. Still negative earnings. Very recent lows. Wouldn't be bottom picking down here either. That's right, Eli. That's right. I actually do have two wives. I have a Sunday wife. One of my friend's kid's mother and I have become friends. This was before he was even in school. We were like 2 when our families met through a mutual friend. And she's my Sunday wife. On Sundays when I go to the gym, she's always there with her kid, and we always go to lunch, so she's my Sunday wife. Now I have a man wife killing my dreams too. It's great. All right, so bid it on 10%. Look at this. We were looking at this yesterday with this big old flat base that it's had for a long time. Eli knows I like flat bottoms. $18. Low here at $15.61. Not quite sure how that's going to work out, but kind of is what it is. Yeah, they both want me to do yard work, so I don't know if it's such a good thing. MJ maintaining low levels down here. I'd like to see it maintain high levels. But the market, last time I checked, didn't ask me my opinion. I'll have to check my emails again. See if there's an email in there from the market saying, "Hey Randy, what would you like me to do today?" I always check that mailbox, but it just doesn't come. BLFS, looks like we lost a little bit of our bullishness. We have more stocks up, lower digits, but the The higher percentages are decreased here a little bit. Got BLFS. WLL is number 1. It doesn't look like it needs to be, but it is. Really taking it on the chin here. It looks like it beat estimates handily by almost 40-50%. Proceeded to sell off here with the general decline in oil prices, I'm assuming, and some decent accumulation down here, I think, actually. I'm not going to consider bottom buying down here, but if you're looking for potential value, that could be a little bit of value, retracing all of that movement. 55 down to 30, that's quite a retracement. You can see the little consolidation. There's a larger consolidation and a little consolidation. They're pretty close to one another. BLFS has had a big run down. Same with CLR, another natural gas name. Carvana has been putting in not really a great base here, but it's forming a type of a bottom. It appears a higher low is in place. See if we have a higher high in time. This is our pivot point. There we go. There's our pivot point. Some resistance right there. Alright, EC with a frozen rope type of a channel. Basically just an extreme channel. Quite a bit of red here, though. Not ideally what you'd like to see. You'd like that to be inverted, but that's not the case. CDNA, not looking bad here. We drew this rising wedge yesterday, and it blew through it and blew back above it. Maybe this is not an actual rising wedge. It's reaching a little bit with the poke on that trend line, but 'tis what it is. Looks like it's a mini channel instead. Rising channel, not a bullish pattern. But maybe we get towards 30.25 here. We flatten out, and then maybe we can finally break 30.15. We'll have to see how that goes. But CDNA not looking too bad. Put my mark on that, like that. Signature Bank of New York. Been an oscillation down here. Not unhealthy. Look at the weekly chart. Hasn't been down here but a few times. Here's the CYBR, the cyber. This is the cyber Trump talks about all the time. NXPI, AMBA, Stone, VIPS. NVGS, in the weekly we have this symmetrical triangle. Trying to quantify that here on the daily into something. Nothing yet. So, market down 0.4% after what was yesterday. A pretty big day. I was gone a vast majority of the day yesterday. Had lunch with Robert. Pretty cool guy. Robert's a cool guy. Spent like 5 hours with the guy. We chatted, hung out. It was great. CDW sitting right back towards highs here. That's a pretty encouraging sign. Look at that. It must have really liked earnings because it has not sold off since. Only beat by 8 cents. Huh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A flat base right there. Still well within buy range for CDW out of a flat base. Looks like an ascending base right there. That's pretty rare. How come I haven't noticed that before? Didn't really rally the 20 required percent after that, but... One, two, maybe three. And a breakout. So nothing pretty long in the tooth for CDW at this stage, but it looks like it's still doing pretty good. All right, we got our greens are getting a little bit healthier here. We're still down 0.5%, however. ALK looks amazing. It was looking pretty good. Oh, we broke from that low level there. And look at yesterday, yeah. Wow, it does look amazing. That's great. We can get a little low volume pullback, maybe into 72.5. That'd be pretty nice. So if we're looking at chart patterns, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's plenty enough for a cup and handle. Deep enough for a cup and handle. And your breakout here, Bible until about 73, 70, 73.80, something like that. Yeah, Bible till about 73.80, 73.75. So a little bit out of buy range here. Good volume on these breakout days. Really nice on Alaska Airlines. Yeah, that's Bible on a little pullback here. I think that would be pretty good. Hold on a second. Wife left and the 4-year-old is around here somewhere and I can't hear him, so I'll be right back. All right, so he's still alive. That's good. Yeah, ALK on a pullback here, I think is pretty cool. BE trying to build a base at 15. Oh wow, look at this thing. I haven't looked at this in looks like a couple of weeks. Oh, they had their first earnings report and they killed it. In a not in a good way though. Not in like a good way. So even though you like a product or a company, guys, don't fall in love with their stock. Which is why I don't have any BE because I like their company. Violence is on your mind today, Eli? That's cool. I get it. I get it. 81% EPS change last quarter. Let's look at BE's fundamentals. BE, Bloom Energy Corporation.
Dad, the ice does work.
Oh, okay, great.
Let's see. Can you help me get water?
Yeah. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to help him get water. Take a look at these fundamentals. I'm back. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good, actually. I don't know why it went down so far. 81% EPS change. The revisions were lower, which is probably why it dropped. Anytime you lower forward-looking revisions, the market kills you for that. Yeah, 103%. Oh, it's a great margin, Eli. 70%. I'm just going to forget this little dash in front. I think that's a typo. No change in funds owning stock. No quarters of it. It is a recent IPO, so 1.7 billion. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. CRISPR, CSPR, CRSP. Yeah, not too bad. Still hasn't crossed our trend line or anything. That head and shoulders actually out of the top there, which is why it's the only reason I have a trend line like that usually. Yeah, head and shoulders pattern. Look at that. We only dropped about 55% of that range to the target. Reversing here in a little mini inverted head and shoulders, and potentially, yeah, actually doesn't look too bad. Not horrible, I'll say. Not horrible. Still under the 200-day moving average, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But, yeah, it's not looking horrible. All right, market rebounding here a little bit, down 0.3%. It was 0.5 earlier. Getting those big greens back up here is healthy. See our big reds. Big reds are still around. Fizz has dropped a little more. Solo's still dropping. Twitter down 4% today. Look at all this analysis I've done. Lots of great analysis. Yeah, Etsy's not doing too bad. There's no major discernible pattern here, but the price action is fairly encouraging. While there is some distribution, higher, low, but rising and lower volume, not my favorite. I still think the market needs another or at least needs some more time. I think now that we have a follow-through day, a little bit of time would be healthy. Some much more bullish price action would be even healthier, but a lot of the charts don't support that right now. Double cup. Yeah, that would be called a base on base pattern. I'm not sure. Whoops. Yeah, so to really get clarification on charts, it's good to look at the weekly. It takes 7 weeks for a cup with handle to form. Oh yeah, Lily was holding up well the entire time. Still hasn't majorly broken out. This did form a large base up here. Looks like it formed. Let's see if it's a flat base up there or not. Nope, never even formed a base. So here's the start of your base on your first red week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is actually a cup with handle base, is what this is. Well, it's only down 10%, so it would be a flat base technically, and 116.71 would be your high. Would be your buy point for Lily. Excuse me, 116.71, 10 cents above the prior high would be your buy point for Lily. This would be a flat base. Oh, that's why I wait for it to break out. That's why you wait for it to break out. Yeah, I don't think it looks like a rounded top. I see what you're saying. We would need a lower high. You know, if we don't break out, then we never buy it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, until it figures out what it wants to do. Well, I think it's pretty clear what it wants to do. The fact is, will it do it? Lots of things I want to do that I never quite accomplish. So, yeah. 1.8 up-down volume still on this guy. Or girl, depending on how you want to look at it. So, yeah, tremendous numbers. Yeah, I'm working on that, Eli. SendGrid. SendGrid, not too bad. Look at that, barely touched the 50-day through a majority of this last part of the correction. Tested the 200-day once. Big gap up and mini test, and really hadn't looked back since. Filled the gap, going back up. Looks like, yeah, if you can buy Send low. Right there, there's a nice trend line for you. You can buy Send on that trend line, you're golden. Oh, wow, yeah. Look at that. That is a cup base, unless it's a flat base. It is a cup base with no handle. Breakout point was right there, and a little bit out of buy range, up 6%. That would have been a great, look at that, even on the daily. Didn't quite form a handle, but nice consolidation, but the market was in the middle. Yeah, I actually saw this on the day it was breaking out with lack of volume, so I actually just ignored it.
Dad,
Yes, James.
can you help me with the ostrich?
What'd you like? So what do you think it?
I don't know what it looks like.
The letter? What letter is it? What's You know, it's an O. O has an O and an ah sound. Okay.
I know what an O is.
Yeah, McDonald's not looking too bad. Makes me want to look at Walmart too, Eli. Yeah, that broke down last time we checked. And a pretty extreme breakdown too. Holiday sales were good. I'm not sure why they ended up down so much. Let's keep rolling. Data looks good. Restoration Hardware almost looks like a falling wedge. Right there. So that's not the worst thing in the world right there. Remember how nice it was looking up here? Came down, actually filled the gap, oscillated beneath it, and maybe if we can get going on earnings, it could be good. NIL. Here's some actual volume. I think it's okay. There's no major accumulation here. There's some buying on the way up here, but looks like you got resistance at 842 so far. And I think it needs to get above that before it's going to have a nice reversal. But this is your traditional buy point up here at 14 bucks. Yeah, Restoration Hard. Yeah, that a cup and a handle never did move. That was a very good trade you did there, buddy. I remember that one. That was great. Yeah, if we're going to go back into a quasi-bullish market, yeah, that one good trade you did. Absolutely. Data, TSM, Massey. Twilio looks a little bit like Etsy, doesn't it? Definitely oscillating around this level. Facebook, though, iRobot. NKTR. Well, let's see if I know how to type. No, not really. Oh, yeah, a little better, actually, now that I look at it. Good volume. Good, nice 4 days worth of volume right there. Buying up right after earnings, and then, yeah, I'm actually intrigued by it. It's not necessarily a buyable pattern. That would be our trend line break. Sorry, that one came on fast. Yeah, this would not be considered a base. This would be a bottoming formation. This could almost be considered a rounding bottom. Needs a little bit more downside over here to really complete the pattern there, but I mean, if it's bullish, I guess it doesn't have to. But not looking too bad. I do like the weekly decline. It has come down a considerable amount, though. Down, my trend line went away. Yeah, 70% of the downside is a little bit deep. Usually, I mean, you don't want things to go down that deep. The market only went down 15%. This went down 70%. I'm not super intrigued by that, to be honest with you. That's quite a bit of downside movement. We have Nu Skin here. Just keep going down some of these on my list. Melly with a pattern here. Looks like that's been morphed into more of a descending triangle. Right there. So that could continue on forever, apparently. This is a weekly chart, so that would take us out into 2020. Wait for this to break out in June of 2020. MyJan race. There's Restoration Hardware, and you're falling wedge again. Hi, James. Yes. INSG actually looking very nice up here. We'll see if it actually works out, but I went all in on solo, Eli, all in. And I'm doing as good as you would expect from someone that went all in on a solo trade. INSG there, very interesting pattern actually. This is looking fairly intriguing at this stage of the game. Looks like a little bit of a bull flag on the weekly chart. Would not qualify as a cup with handle pattern, but the symmetry is pretty nice. What's up, Blah? Follow through was yesterday, it looks like. The follow through day was yesterday. I came back and looked at the charts. I'm like, wow, it was a follow through day. So you sold one wheel on your car to buy bread? Eli, no, that's dumb. Then I would only have 2 wheels, okay? Gosh. By solo trade, I'm assuming you meant bought a solo car. Because you know they're going to go up in value. INSG here, very intriguing chart pattern. I kind of like this one. Yeah, it looks like a first stage base, as a matter of fact. Oh wow, this thing's only $4, $3. Eek. All right, well, it is a NASDAQ stock, so that's good. I'll put an alert on the break of that trend line right now. That's right, Eli. It's a triangle. You can't argue physics. You just can't do it. Don't even try. Don't even try to argue with physics. Eli Lilly looking really good. Man, this is like one of the very few stocks, if you held through the market correction, you'd be good to go. Twitter selling off. Yeah, it's down 4.5%, now 5.5%. Yeah, definitely selling off. Volume's already pretty elevated, too, for where we are. Yeah. Hertz, beta, Square, IQ's down here too. Not super happy about that. I don't know why. Course was looking good for a while. Oh wow, I haven't looked at it apparently in long enough that it's surprising. So much for the breakout. This is what's called a breakout failure, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, breakout failure. Alright guys, I'm going to have to run here, I think, in a little bit. You guys have anything else you want to look at? Look at a couple IBD articles while I'm waiting to see if there's any more questions. Stocks are 50-50 today. I'll go 50-50 on that 50-50 scenario, Eli, I think. Yeah, I'll go 50-50 on your scenario there. Viva stock of the day today. Which is why it sold off. Yeah, right. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, there wasn't too much that was looking great. I mean, Lilly looks really nice. Yeah, what else here? I've got a couple that I've marked off. What's Tesla doing? I haven't looked at Tesla. Tesla oscillating up here a little bit. VMware not looking too bad, living at highs. We didn't look at that, but we did a few days ago. So far, sitting up here is healthy. A little interested in NetEase. If it can get above this high, that may be a good buy point for NetEase. And I think that's all I have highlighted. There's another one that INS. INS with a gorgeous cup and handle that I'm just dying to get my hands on if it'll break out. So INS looking really good. So all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Gotta put crypto newsletter together, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.